Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing fine. Welcome back to another session. And today we are going to start with a new chapter, that's chapter 9, Traders, Kings and Pilgrims. Now as you all know, what does the word pilgrim stand for? Pilgrim basically means a person who's going on a journey, a traveler who's on a holy journey to a place. Right? So basically a journey traveled by a person that's for religious point of view, from religious perspective. Initially people used to travel on foot to some special place. That is how we came up with this word that's called pilgrim. So let's see what can we learn from this chapter. Let's get started. So the topics that we are going to cover in this chapter are how to find out about trade and traders, how do we find out about them, what proof they've left behind, more about new kingdoms along the coast, because that was the place where a lot of trade used to exist, the thriving centers for the trade. Definitely the coastal areas developed and so came up the new kingdoms. Then I'm going to tell you a very interesting story, the story of the silk route. Yes, the same silk saris that your mothers happen to wear, your sisters happen to wear, your relatives happen to wear. And the spread of Buddhism to all parts of the world from India. The quest basically means the search. What did pilgrims look for? Why did they travel that long distances? And the beginning of Bhakti. Yes, this Bhakti movement is quite different from the Bhakti and devotion which we show towards God nowadays. There's something different about it and we get to know what is the difference. Alright? So, the story starts with the girl whose name is Jagini. So, Jagini lives in a village and there's a fair. Fair means there's going to be an exhibition sort of thing where all the people from the village and from around the place are going to come there. And there's going to be a huge display of different things. It could be some kind of pottery, it could be some kind of toys that would be displayed there, some sort of bangles, some sort of earrings that she could get, maybe some sort of necklaces. So she happened to question her mother, "Mom, I see these wonderful display of things out there at the fair. But where are all these people coming from? I've never seen them before in this village." And the mother tells Jagini that the people that you are wondering about, they are set of traders. Yes, these are the people who make the stuff, and of course, in order to sell it, they travel to different parts. They are businessmen. They make things and in order to sell it at a profit, they move to different locations. So that is when the fair is going to be over. They all are going to travel back to their respective places of origin, may it be on bus, may it be through train. But how do we know about the traders and trade from ancient India? Well, in case you remember, I talked about northern black polished ware in chapter 8. If you've missed it, please watch the replay. It's that polished black ware that used to be found only and only in northern part of the subcontinent and nowhere else. The fine design of pottery, oh my god, don't ask me, it was remarkable. I've shown the pics also. Similarly, like archaeologists found the evidence of northern black polished ware in the northern part of India, they've also found different things at different sites. For example, a lot of archaeologists, they found some plates. A lot of archaeologists, they found some bowls that we call bowls. And the traders might have traveled with them, with these stuff, the plates, the bowls, from different places to sell it to the people living in India, because they were not really made of the material that we find in India. How do we come to know that they were not generated or made or manufactured in India is based on the material that we find them being made of. There's a special type of material that's found at a particular place and traders have carried it to distant locations, different places in order to sell them. Now let's give you a brief idea. What happened is, in the South India here, this area was particularly famous for gold. It was famous for spices. India's always been famous for spices, especially pepper. I'll show you what does pepper look like. And also precious stones. We found a lot of precious stones here. So to everyone's curiosity, we found a lot of people coming from Roman Empire. So where exactly do we have Roman Empire? Can you see Italy here? So here in this area, all the people, they were coming to India's the subcontinent, especially to the south, in order to trade. Right? So these people came, and particularly the Roman people. So these people, I'll introduce you to another set of kingdom that we'll see in the south getting developed there. So the Roman people, they used to trade, which means we found the Roman coins here in the south of the subcontinent. They used to trade in this black pepper. There came a time when they were so fond of this that they started to call it black gold. So they used to carry bundles and bundles of this with them on the way back to Rome, maybe through sea, maybe through land route, and they all used to go in caravans. Right. Now, a lot of you have not attended my previous session. They might not be able to know what does the word caravan stand for. So back then, we didn't have that travel trailer or a motorable vehicle with which you can travel from one place to another. So people either use some animals to travel, right? Or maybe what they used to do is they used to travel in groups. So group traveling together in order to fight, in order to find safety in each other, in order to pass through a dangerous, hostile environment, or maybe hostile territory, maybe deserts, mountains. So when they all used to come together, that is what you call it, caravan. So it's basically a group of people who used to travel. So as I was telling you, the Roman Empire, the Roman people, they used to trade in black pepper. We found evidence related to this because we found a lot of gold coins related to the Roman Empire in South India, which gives us the idea that they might have explored the sea route to India also. They might be coming through the sea route, not only through the land route. And they might have entered or crossed through Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, taking advantage of monsoon. Now I'll tell you, this is a very interesting story about Indian monsoon. Now what happens is, let's say this is the southern part of India. And if you know about Indian monsoons, around June, we happen to see the monsoon winds hitting India. So this is how monsoon arrives in India. There are winds from Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal that enter India. This is sea, this is land. This is again sea. Which sea? This is Bay of Bengal, right? And here you've got Arabian Sea. So when monsoons enter, what happens? They go from here, this direction. This is south, this is west. So let's call it southwest monsoon. They enter the Indian subcontinent. Around June to, let's say, mid-September, this happens. This is the direction of the winds. But when there is retrieval, that means the monsoon leave the country. They are going like this from land to sea, right? It's going like this from land to sea. So this is the direction. Do you get my point? So on the world map, if I show you how it would probably be. So this is they enter and this is the way they exit. The same way they leave back. So if a person has to come from here, right, to this part, they used to take help of these monsoons. So if the wind is blowing in this direction like this, they used to make their way to Indian subcontinent. They used to carry, in their ship, they used to enter Arabian Sea and automatically it would sail and take them very near to the coast. But if they had to leave the subcontinent, they used to leave it around October to December when we had winds going in the opposite direction. Are you able to follow? So this is how they used to sail. But of course, may it be southwest monsoon, may it be the retrieving monsoon, they had to make sure to cover the long journey, which is disastrous. They have very strong built or maybe well built ships. Right? It's very important for them to have well built, very strong ships. Otherwise, they'll crash right in the middle of this ocean. Okay. So now since they started to come and trade here in South India, so there needs to be existence of some few kingdoms that came up. Sometime back I showed you this picture, right? And I told you in due course I'll discuss it with you. So there were 3 kingdoms who developed here. Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas, especially in this area of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. We find the existence of these most important kingdoms. And they started to have their influence around this area. So what they had is, each kingdom had an inland capital and one capital at the port, like at the coast. That would act as a port. One here and one here. So one here and one here. 6 major capitals. Plus, they used to thrive along this river that I'll show you. It is Kaveri River. Can you all see this Kaveri River? So this Kaveri River that you find here, the area around this river was very, very fertile. So it was easy for these kingdoms to survive here. Correct? So the chiefs and the kings tried to control this river valley or maybe the coast in order to become very, very rich and powerful. Now this was an ancient history. So there is a literature of ancient history of South India that's called Sangam. Now in specific, when I talk of Sangam period, it means the period that talks about the history of ancient Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Somewhere between 6th century to 3rd century. Right? But if I talk of what is there in your book, they've talked of Sangam poems. Now in Sangam poems, they've mentioned a word which is Movinder. Now this is not a name of a person. Movinder is not the name of a person, let me tell you. Movinder is a Tamil word which means 3 chiefs. Right? And who are those 3 chiefs? I've already shown you here. There are 3 chiefs in this area. You can see here Pandyas, Cholas and Cheras. Can you find these 3 chiefs here? Easy for you? Again, I'll speak. So we've got Sangam poems that mention of Movinder, which means 3 chiefs. And those 3 chiefs are the people ruling this area, which include Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. And they became very, very popular around 2300 years ago. Right? In case you guys are interested to know more about Cholas, Cheras, Pandyas and about this chapter, make sure you like, share and subscribe. I'll come up with a new video very soon. Thank you.